I told you not to trust him, I shouted, my voice trembling as the papers curled into black ash. The fire roared inside the metal bin, eating away at the only proof of my sister's marriage. She dropped to her knees, clutching the edge of the table. He promised me, he swore those papers meant everything. Her eyes were wide, frantic, as if her whole future had burned with that paper. I grabbed her shoulders. Get up, Anna. It's just paper. We can. She slapped my hands away. Don't you see? Without it, I'm nothing. He's erased me. The man stood in the corner, his face calm, his hands tucked into his pockets. His smirk was faint, but I saw it. He had lit the fire with no hesitation, and now he watched her break. Why? I screamed at him. Why would you do this to her? He shrugged. It was never real. She was a distraction. I ended it. My sister gasped, her lips trembling. You said you loved me. You said you'd fight the world for me. He leaned closer, his voice cold. I lied. Her cry pierced the room. She stumbled backward, clutching her chest as if his words were knives. I tried to reach for her, but she shook me off. You ruined me, she whispered to him, her voice raw. You burned everything. He looked away, already bored, already done. Anna, look at me, I begged, holding her trembling hands. We can fight this. We'll find another way. She shook her head. He was my way. Don't you get it? He was all I had. The smell of burnt paper filled the room, choking me. My chest tightened. I wanted to grab a chair and smash it against him, to tear that smug look from his face. Get out, I hissed at him. He chuckled. You think she can survive without me? Watch her. She'll fall apart on her own. My sister collapsed against me, her body trembling with sobs. I wrapped my arms around her, feeling how frail she had become. Don't listen to him, I whispered, rocking her like a child. He doesn't get to decide your worth. But she kept shaking her head. It's over. I have nothing left. Yes, you do. You have me. You still have me. Her breathing was sharp, uneven. She pressed her forehead against my shoulder. I can't breathe. I can't. It hurts. Panic surged through me. Anna, stay with me, please. She clawed at her chest, gasping. I loved him, and he killed me anyway. Her words broke something inside me. No, don't say that. You're stronger than this. Her lips trembled. Promise me you won't forgive him. Promise me. I promise. I choked out, tears spilling down my cheeks. She gave me a weak smile, so faint, so fragile, and then her eyes rolled back. Her body went limp in my arms. No, Anna, no. I shook her, screamed her name, begged her to wake. But she was gone. The man turned toward the door, his shadow stretching across the wall. Told you she couldn't survive without me. I glared at him through my tears. Get out, before I kill you. He smirked one last time and left, his footsteps echoing in the silence. I held my sister's lifeless body, rocking her, my tears soaking her hair. The fire had died down, leaving only ashes. Ashes of paper, ashes of dreams, ashes of her life. That night, something inside me burned brighter than the fire he had lit. It was rage, raw, merciless, and eternal, and I swore it would never die. The air was heavy with damp earth. I knelt before the fresh soil, pressing my fingers into the ground. I'm here, Anna, I whispered. I brought you lilies. You always said they smelled like hope. The silence answered me. My tears dripped onto the stone, then footsteps crunched behind me, slow, hesitant. I stiffened. Why are you here? A broken voice whispered. I had to see her. I turned, my chest burning. He was there, the man who destroyed her. His suit was wrinkled, his face pale. He dropped to his knees before the grave. I'm sorry, he stammered, his hands trembling. And I never meant for this to happen. Don't you dare say her name, I hissed. He clasped his hands together like a sinner. I regret everything. I can't sleep. I see her face every night. Good, I said sharply. You should choke on that regret. He leaned forward, pressing his forehead to the soil. Please, forgive me. Just once. Let me hear her forgive me. I laughed bitterly, my voice breaking. She's dead because of you. Do you think kneeling here will erase that? He looked up at me, his eyes wet. I lost control. I was angry. I thought I was right. You thought destroying her made you powerful. My voice shook with rage. Now you beg in the dirt like a dog. He covered his face with his hands. I'm not asking for pity. I can't live with this guilt. Then don't, I said coldly. End it. He froze, his hands falling to his lap. You would want that? I want you to suffer, I whispered. The way she suffered when you burned everything she dreamed of. The way I suffer every time I wake and remember she's gone. His lips quivered. I loved her once. I spat onto the soil. You don't destroy what you love. You loved only yourself. He reached for the headstone, his fingers shaking. And I'm sorry. His voice cracked on her name. I leaned closer, my words sharp as knives. She can't hear you. And if she could, she would turn away. He sobbed, his shoulders shaking violently. Please tell me what to do. Tell me how to make it right. You can't. I rose to my feet, my fists clenched. You'll carry this, rot inside you until it eats you alive. He stared at me, desperate. So you'll never forgive me? Never, I said, my throat tight. Her grave doesn't need your lies. Leave. He struggled to stand, swaying as if the earth itself pushed him down. His eyes searched mine, pleading for mercy. I gave him none. He stumbled back, his voice hoarse. Then curse me if you must. I already live in hell. You don't know hell, I whispered. But you will. He left, his footsteps fading into the wind. I stayed, staring at the stone. I won't let him rest, Anna, I murmured. He'll bleed regret every single day. The graveyard swallowed my words. Silence lingered, heavy, eternal. I traced her name on the stone and swore, your pain will not end with death. I'll carry it into his life until he begs for his own grave. And the silence around me agreed. The knock rattled my door long past midnight. I hesitated before opening, my chest tight. When I pulled it back, he stood there pale, shaking, his eyes hollow. Please, he whispered, clutching the frame. I never meant for it to end this way. I leaned against the door, my voice flat. You meant every moment. Don't pretend otherwise. His hands trembled. I was wrong. I was selfish. But I regret it all. Regret doesn't bring her back, I snapped. Regret doesn't fill a grave. He flinched, looking at the floor. I can't breathe at night. I hear her crying. I see her face in the dark. Good, I said coldly. She deserves to haunt you. He stepped closer, desperation in his voice. I loved her once. You have to believe that. I laughed bitterly. Love? You burned her life to ashes. That wasn't love. That was cruelty. He shook his head violently. No, I was weak, stupid. I thought control made me stronger, but it destroyed everything. You destroyed her, I corrected. You killed her dreams with your bare hands. His lips trembled. I didn't think she'd break. I thought she'd forgive me. She trusted you until her last breath, I said sharply. And you repaid that trust with fire. He buried his face in his hands. I hate myself. You should. He peeked at me through his fingers, voice cracking. Can't you at least pity me? Just a little? I narrowed my eyes. Pity? For you? I can't live like this. He whispered. I'm drowning in guilt. I folded my arms, holding back the storm inside. And what do you expect from me? To save you? To soothe you while my sister rots in the ground? His body shook. I don't know. I can't. Carry it alone. You will carry it, I said. Every breath, every night. You'll live in the cage you built. He reached for me suddenly, his hands trembling. Then at least tell me I have a chance to be forgiven. I froze, staring at his fingers inches from mine. Slowly, I let my lips curl into something that wasn't quite a smile. Maybe. His eyes widened, hope flickering. Maybe, I repeated softly, though my voice dripped with venom. But not today. He exhaled like a dying man given air. Thank you. Even the smallest chance means I can keep going. I tilted my head, studying the cracks in his mask. Every twitch of his mouth, every flicker of his eyes screamed fear. Not love, not grief, fear. Fear that his sins would one day crush him. You should go, I said firmly. He nodded quickly, desperate. I'll do anything you ask. Just don't shut me out completely. I opened the door wider, gesturing toward the night. Go prove it to yourself, not to me. He stumbled into the darkness, his voice trailing. I'll find a way. You'll see. I'll make this right. I closed the door, leaning against it, my nails biting into my palms. Inside, I whispered to the silence. He thinks I might forgive. Let him believe it. My lips curved into a sharp smile. Because one day, silence will cut deeper than any blade, and in that silence, I sharpened my patience. The diary was buried beneath her mattress, hidden like a secret she never wanted me to see. My hands shook as I opened it. The first page carried her handwriting, soft and delicate, blurred by dried tears, and I whispered, why didn't You tell me? The words spoke back at me in silence. He held my hand today. He said he'd protect me forever. I slammed the book shut, my heart pounding. My voice trembled. Protect you? He destroyed you. I forced myself to keep reading. I think of our wedding every night. I imagine walking down the aisle. He says we'll make it real soon. My throat burned. He said that while planning to burn it all. The ink smeared where she must have cried over the page. Sometimes he laughs at my dreams, but I know he's just teasing. Deep down, he wants them too. I clench my fists. No, Anna, he mocked you because he never intended to give them to you. Her voice echoed in my head, as if she were answering. He loves me. I know it. He promised. Promised. I repeated bitterly. A word that means nothing in his mouth. I turned another page. Even if he changes his mind, I'll still love him. I can't imagine a life without him. I slammed the diary onto the table. You loved him when he didn't deserve it. You forgave him before he even sinned. The walls around me seemed to close in. I pressed my hand to my mouth, fighting the scream rising in my chest. Her handwriting danced in front of me, every letter cutting deeper. I want to believe I'm enough. Even if he hurts me, I'll endure, because love is worth it. I whispered through my tears. No, Anna. Love should never have been your cage. I gripped the book so tightly the spine cracked. I wanted to tear the pages, burn them the way he burned her papers, but I couldn't. These words were the last of her voice. I whispered to the diary itself. You believed in him when you should have run. You saw hope where there was only cruelty. The air felt heavier, pressing on my chest. I could almost hear her laughter in the room, the way she used to tease me. Do you hear me, Anna? I whispered. I won't forgive him. Not the way you would have. He doesn't deserve your kindness. He doesn't deserve your memory. The silence answered me like a vow. I pressed my forehead against the open page. You wanted love, and he gave you ashes. You dreamed of forever, and he gave you a grave. My tears blurred the words, merging mine with hers. I won't mourn anymore, I said, my voice steadying. I'll fight. I'll plan. I'll make him feel what you felt, and worse. The diary trembled in my hands as if it carried her spirit. I kissed the corner of the page and closed it gently. Rest now, Anna. You won't be forgotten. I'll carry your voice into my war. And with that, grief melted into something sharper. I no longer wept. I plotted. I didn't know where else to turn. I told his friend Marcus, lowering my eyes as though my grief was too heavy to carry. He left Anna with nothing. I can't stop thinking about it. Marcus clenched his jaw. He never treated her right. I told him he'd regret it. I let my voice tremble. If only he had listened, maybe she would still be here. Marcus sighed deeply. He owes too many people money. Gambling, loans, it's a mess. Anna deserved better. Gambling? I whispered, feigning surprise. I had no idea. Most people don't, he muttered. He hides it well. I bit back a smile. One string pulled. At a calf. I leaned toward Clara, one of his old flames. He told Anna she was the only one. I said softly. Clara laughed bitterly. The only one? He was with me while he was with her. He swore he'd marry me too. When I found out about your sister, I walked away. He lied to you both, I said gently. Her eyes narrowed. He lies to everyone. 2 strings. Later, I called his cousin, pretending my voice shook. I'm worried about him, I said. Since Anna he seems unstable. The cousin snorted. Unstable? He's always been reckless. He stole from his own father once. And don't even ask about the money he owes my brother. Your own family? I asked quietly. He'd betray anyone, came the sharp reply. 3 strings. That night, I sat with Mrs. Collins, his elderly neighbor. I carried a basket of flowers, pretending kindness. He hasn't been around much, she said, sipping tea. But I've seen strange men at his door, shouting, threatening him. Strange men? I asked. Debt collectors, I think. He slammed the door in their faces. He always was arrogant, I whispered. He's spiraling, isn't he? She nodded, eyes soft with pity. Yes, dear. And I fear he'll take others down with him. 4 strings. Each conversation was a note in a song only I could hear. I gathered the pieces, wove them tight, and smiled through every word. They pitied me. They trusted me. They offered information freely, believing I was just a grieving sister. But inside, I sharpened every confession into a weapon. When I saw him the next day, he greeted me with forced warmth. You look better, he said. Maybe you're finally healing. I tilted my head, smiling sweetly. Maybe. Healing takes time. His eyes softened. I'm glad. I need you to believe I'm not the monster you think. Not a monster? I asked gently. Then what are you? Someone who made mistakes, he said firmly. But I'm trying to change. I leaned closer, my smile unshaken. Change takes more than words, he sighed, running a hand through his hair. You'll see. I'll prove it to you. I'll be watching, I murmured, and I was. From every shadow, every whisper, every secret, I was there, alone that night. I spread the pieces across my table: notes, whispers, rumors, gambling debts, affairs, lies to his family, threats at his door. I touched each paper like the strings of a web, pulling them tighter, feeling the tension hum beneath my fingertips. He thinks I'm healing, I whispered to the empty room. He thinks I'm weak. I smiled, sharp and cruel, but I'm already in his shadow, and soon he'll choke on the strings I've tied around his life. Something's wrong, he muttered, pacing across the room. His tie hung loose, sweat dampening his collar. Clients are pulling out, one after another. It makes no sense. I sat calmly, stirring my tea. Maybe they found better deals. He slammed his fist against the table. No, this feels deliberate. Someone's spreading lies about me. I tilted my head, feigning innocence. Lies? What kind of lies? That I gamble, that I cheat contracts. His voice cracked with rage. None of it's true. I hid a smile. Strange. People usually don't invent things without reason. He glared at me, searching my face. Have you heard anything? I met his eyes steadily. No, you can trust me. The tension in his shoulders softened. He slumped into a chair. You're the only one I can trust right now. I leaned closer, lowering my voice. Then let me help. Tell me what you need. He sighed, rubbing his temples. I just need someone on my side. Everyone else, they're waiting for me to fail. Then don't fail, I whispered. Fight back. His jaw tightened. I will. I just need time. Later, I heard whispers in the cafe. Did you know he owes money? Everywhere? One woman whispered. His company's bleeding. He won't last 6 months, another replied. I sipped my coffee, hiding my satisfaction. The next day, he stormed into my house, his eyes bloodshot. It's worse. I lost 2 major accounts today. They said they couldn't risk their reputation being tied to mine. I gasped, pressing a hand to my lips. That's terrible. What will you do? He sank onto the couch, shaking his head. I don't know. Everything's slipping away. I sat beside him, gently placing my hand on his. You're strong. You'll get through this. He gripped my hand tightly, like a man clinging to driftwood. Promise you won't leave me too, I whispered. I won't. Inside I smiled. That evening, I dropped another whisper to a contact at a bar. He's desperate these days, I murmured, swirling my glass. Lashing out, losing control. I wouldn't trust him with a penny. The man nodded grimly. Words already out. His reputation's poison. Poison spreads fast, I said softly. The next week, he came again, his movements restless. I think someone's behind this. It's too precise, too targeted. I kept my tone light. Who would waste time sabotaging you? He froze, staring at the floor. Maybe. I made too many enemies. Maybe, I said, sipping my tea. His eyes darted up. You'd tell me if you heard something, wouldn't you? Of course, I said sweetly. I'm on your side. He slumped back, exhausted. I don't know what I'd do without you. You don't have to, I whispered. The next blow landed harder. His bank called in a loan, citing instability. His voice shook when he told me. They think I can't recover, he said, pacing. They don't believe in me anymore. Then prove them wrong, I replied gently. He stared at me, eyes wild. You still believe in me, don't you? I touched his arm, smiling faintly. Always, and he clung to those words like salvation. Alone that night, I whispered to the silence. He trusts me while I gut his world piece by piece. I thought of Anna, her diary filled with hope. He thinks I'm his lifeline, but I am the storm. I closed my eyes, savoring the chaos I had sown. The first cut was made, small, precise, and deep enough to bleed, and he never saw the knife in my hand. He pounded on my door until the hinges rattled. When I opened it, his hands reached for me, trembling, drenched in sweat. Help me, he begged, his voice raw, his eyes wild. Everything's falling apart. I don't know what to do. I pulled back slightly, forcing him to meet my gaze. You come to me now, after everything? He gripped my wrists, his palms slick. Please, I'm begging you. You're the only one left who hasn't turned away. I let him hold on for a moment, then whispered, you destroyed the only person who ever believed in you. Why should anyone help you now? His mouth opened, but no words came. His silence filled the room like a song only I could hear. I tilted my head. What is it you want from me? Forgiveness? Salvation? His voice cracked. I need someone to tell me I'm not finished, that I still have a chance. You want me to lie? I said quietly. No, he whispered. I want you to give me hope. I laughed bitterly. Hope? That word died with her. His eyes burned with desperation. Don't say that. She loved me. She loved the man she thought you were. I snapped. Not the liar standing in front of me. He staggered back, his hands covering his face. I made mistakes, yes, but I never thought it would come to this. You never think, I said sharply. You act, you destroy, and then you beg when the fire burns to hot. He dropped to his knees, clutching my hands again. Then tell me what to do. Tell me how to fix it. I looked down at him, his body shaking against mine. You can't fix what's already in the ground, he sobbed, pressing his forehead to my knuckles. I can't live like this. The nights, the voices, she's everywhere. I whispered coldly. Good. She should haunt you until your last breath. His grip tightened painfully. Don't leave me like this. You're all I have left. I leaned close, my voice low. And what did Anna have when you burned her dreams? Nothing. You gave her nothing. He shook his head violently. Stop. Don't remind me. Please. You need reminding, I hissed. Every time you breathe, every time you wake up, you should remember whose life you stole. He collapsed fully onto the floor, clutching at my knees. I'll die without help. I stared at him, feeling no pity. Then die with her name on your lips. Maybe then you'll understand what you destroyed. He sobbed louder, the sound tearing through the silence. Why are you so cruel? Because kindness killed her, I said, and cruelty is all I have left to give you. He went quiet, his shoulders trembling beneath my gaze. Finally, I pulled my hands free and whispered, stand up, or stay on the floor forever. I don't care. He didn't move. I stepped back, closing the door slowly, savoring the hollow sound of it shutting between us. On the other side, his cries scraped against the wood, and I smiled, because his silence had been sweet, but his desperation was sweeter still. He showed up outside my door reeking of whiskey, his eyes bloodshot. You think you're clever, he spat, pointing a shaky finger at me. You're behind this. The rumors, the clients. Leaving this is your doing. I folded my arms. Drinking won't give you answers. He staggered closer. Don't play innocent with me. Everyone believes you. The grieving sister, the poor victim. But I see the truth. I tilted my head. Do you? Then tell me what truth do you see? That you're destroying me, he growled. Piece by piece. I leaned against the doorframe. Funny, you seem to be doing that all on your own. Liar, he shouted, loud enough to wake the neighbors. You're poisoning them against me. I stepped forward, lowering my voice. Do you really think anyone needs my help to hate you? You've given them enough reasons. His jaw tightened, but his eyes flickered with fear. The next day, he followed me down the street. You'll pay for this, he hissed. I'll tell them who you really are. I didn't break stride. Go ahead, tell them. Who will believe you? He grabbed my arm, his grip rough. They will, if I shout loud enough. I yanked free. Try it. Watch how quickly they laugh in your face. People glanced at us as they passed. I saw their disapproval aimed at him. Not me. A woman muttered to her friend. That's the man who ruined his fiancée. And now, he's harassing her sister? His face flushed, but I only smiled faintly. That evening, he stormed into Marcus's bar, slamming a glass against the counter. You're all turning on me because of her lies. Marcus leaned in, unimpressed. No one needed her to say anything. We've all watched you sink yourself. You think she's pure? He sneered. She's playing you all. I stepped through the doorway just in time to catch his words. Playing them? I asked softly. How? He spun toward me, rage twisting his features. You're weaving lies, whispering in their ears. I glanced at Marcus. Did I whisper to you? Marcus shook his head firmly. No, I just know what I've seen. Others at the bar nodded in agreement, murmuring their own doubts about him. The color drained from his face as their voices rose. You see? I whispered to him. You're not losing because of me. You're losing because of you. Later that night, he stumbled after me into a quiet alley. His voice cracked with desperation. Why won't they believe me? I stopped, meeting his frantic eyes. Because your lies poisoned everything long before I touched it. He gripped his head, groaning. I'm not the villain here. I stepped closer, my words sharp as glass. Then why does everyone see you that way? He shook violently, his mask slipping with every word. Because you, his voice broke. No, I said softly. Because you can't hide what you are anymore. The next morning, Mrs. Collins cornered me outside her garden. He was shouting in the street again last night, she said, shaking her head. People are talking. They say he's lost control. I sighed, masking my satisfaction. I wish he'd find peace. Peace? She muttered. He's digging his own grave. That night, I sat alone, whispering to the silence. The cracks are showing. His mask is falling. I smiled, closing my eyes, and soon, he'll have nothing left to hide behind. The envelope was yellowed at the edges, tucked deep inside her old jewelry box. My hands trembled as I slid it open, and I whispered, "What did you hide from me?" Her handwriting filled the page, delicate but steady. If anything happens to me, don't hate him too much. My breath caught. Don't hate him? I muttered. After everything? Her words blurred as I kept reading. I know he's not perfect. I know he laughs at my dreams, but I believe there's still goodness in him. Even if he betrays me, I'll still love him. I pressed the paper to my chest, whispering through clenched teeth. Why, Anna? Why love someone who only ever burned you? I heard her voice in my head as if she stood beside me. Because love isn't about perfection. It's about holding on, even when it hurts. I slammed my fist against the table. And it killed you. It left me alone with ashes. The silence answered me. I read on. If my life ends before it should, don't waste your days in anger. Promise me you'll live, not for revenge, but for yourself. Tears blurred the page. You wanted me to forgive him. You wanted me to live without hate. But my chest tightened, rage boiling hotter than my grief. I can't. I won't. Later. I carried the letter outside, clutching it like a relic. He was waiting at the corner, his eyes swollen, his voice hoarse. What's that? He asked, pointing to the paper. I glared. Nothing you deserve to see. His hands twitched. Was it hers? Yes. I hissed. Her final words. He stepped closer, desperate. What did she say? Did she mention me? I laughed bitterly. Of course she did. She always did. His eyes widened. She forgave me, didn't she? My silence made him shake harder. Tell me, he shouted. I shoved him back. Yes, she forgave you, even when you didn't deserve it. His knees buckled. She still loved me. Yes. I spat. She loved you while you destroyed her. She loved you when you lit the fire. She loved you when she died. He collapsed onto the curb, burying his face in his hands. God, I don't deserve it. I never did. No, you didn't, I said coldly. He reached for me, his voice trembling. Then if she forgave me, why can't you? Because I'm not her, I snapped. Her kindness was her strength, but mine is fury. He shook violently. She wouldn't want this between us. I leaned close, my voice sharp. She's gone because of you. Don't tell me what she would want. His tears dripped onto the ground. If she forgave me, then I can live with that. Maybe there's still hope for me. I held up the letter, trembling with rage. Hope died with her. All that's left for you is ruin. He stared at me, broken, as if I had struck him. That night, I kissed the edge of the letter and tucked it against my heart. I'm sorry, Anna, I whispered. You asked me not to hate him. You begged me not to waste my days in anger. The wind carried my words into the night, but I can't. I won't. Your kindness forgave him. My fury will destroy him. I pressed the letter into my journal, sealing it away, and I swore, with every breath, I won't stop until justice is mine. He collapsed at my doorstep, his clothes torn, his face hollow. Please, he gasped, clutching at my legs. Please, I regret everything. I have nothing left. I looked down at him, my voice steady. You finally admit it. His body trembled. As he pressed his forehead against the floor, I'm bankrupt. My friends are gone. My family won't even answer my calls. Everyone despises me. Good, I whispered. It's what you earned. He lifted his head, eyes bloodshot. Don't say that, please. You don't understand what it's like to lose everything. I crouched slightly, forcing him to look at me. I watched my sister lose her dreams. I watched her lose her life. Don't tell me about loss. He choked on his breath. I can't carry it anymore. The weight, it's crushing me. Then, be crushed. I said coldly. His voice cracked into sobs. Don't you see? I'm already dead inside. Without her, without forgiveness, there's nothing left. You had forgiveness, I snapped. She gave it to you in her heart, even as you betrayed her. His lips quivered. She forgave me? Yes, I said bitterly, but I never will. He sobbed louder, his hands clawing at my dress. Don't turn me away. I'll do anything to make it right. I pulled back, his fingers slipping from the fabric. You can't make it right. The grave doesn't open. The ashes don't turn back into paper. He shook violently. Please, if you let me fall, I'll disappear completely. No one else will care. Then disappear, I said, my voice sharp as glass. He collapsed against the floor again, pounding his fists weakly. I was proud once. I thought I was untouchable. And now his words broke into a hollow laugh. Now I beg at your feet. I watched him writhe, a twisted shell of the man who once smirked at Anna's pain. For a fleeting second, pity pricked my chest. But then I saw the fire in my mind, the smoke, the papers curling into ash, my sister's lifeless face. My pity turned to stone. I leaned close enough for him to hear the ice in my voice. You wanted mercy? You buried it with her. His tears streaked down his face as he whispered, then curse me. Damn me. Just don't leave me like this. You're already damned, I said, standing tall. And it's a fate you carved. Yourself. He looked up at me, broken. Will you ever forgive me? I met his gaze, unflinching. Never. The words struck him harder than any blade. He collapsed again, sobbing into the dust. I turned away, my steps echoing against the silence. Behind me, his voice rasped into the night. I regret everything, but regret was ash, and ashes couldn't rebuild a soul. He sat hunched at my table, eyes darting around like a trapped animal. What do you want from me? He whispered. Haven't you taken enough? I slid the thick file across the wood. Open it. His trembling hands fumbled at the clasp. Papers spilled out, copies of debts, affairs, forged contracts, every sin I had collected. His face went white. Where did you get all this? I leaned back, calm. Does it matter? The truth was always there. I just gathered it neatly. He shoved the file away as if it burned. If this reaches the police, I'm finished. Finished? I repeated softly. You were finished the night you lit the fire. He shook his head violently. No. This can't be happening. You can't do this to me. I leaned forward, my voice sharp as glass. I didn't do this. You did. Every lie, every betrayal. You wrote this file yourself. His hands clutched his hair. Please, you can't hand this over. I'll lose everything. You already lost everything, I said coldly. This is just the grave you dug, finally swallowing you. He dropped to his knees beside the chair. I'm begging you. One chance. Just one. I stared down at him. Why should I give you what you never gave her? His voice cracked. Because I'm broken. Because I regret it. Because without mercy, I'm nothing. I whispered. Exactly. His tears hit the floor as he pressed his forehead against my leg. Don't end me like this, please. I pulled away sharply. Do you remember her last words to me? She begged me not to forgive you. She died believing in a man who destroyed her. And now, you want me to undo her final wish? He froze, his body trembling. She really said that? Yes, I said, and I promised her. He gripped the edge of the chair, gasping. Then kill me outright. Don't let me rot like this. I pushed the file toward him again. I'm not killing you. I'm giving you a choice. His eyes flickered with confusion. Choice? Disappear, I said, my tone even. Leave this city, vanish into nothing, and maybe I'll keep this file locked away. Or stay, and I'll deliver it to the police tomorrow. His breath caught. Disappear? Rot, I repeated. Those are your only paths. He shook violently, staring at the damning papers. If I run, I lose everything. You already have, I whispered. And if I stay, then you rot, I said firmly. He gripped the file with trembling hands, scanning the pages again as if hoping the ink would vanish. This is my end. No, I corrected. This is your justice. He looked up at me, his face crumbling. Please, just once, call me human. Don't leave me as a monster. I stood, my voice cold as ice. Monsters don't get last words. I turned, walking toward the door. Behind me, his sobs cracked the silence. Wait, he shouted. Don't go. Please, I didn't look back. The night air hit me like freedom as I stepped outside. His cries followed, echoing through the empty street, but they no longer pierced me. For the first time, his pain was louder than mine, and I left him there, clutching the evidence of his own ruin, drowning in the grave he had dug with his own hands. The cemetery was quiet, the air cool against my skin. I knelt at Anna's grave, setting her diary and the final letter gently on the soil. I brought them back to you, I whispered. Your words, your dreams, your truth. The breeze stirred, carrying the faint scent of lilies, her favorite. For a long moment, I stayed silent. Then I spoke again, my voice steady. It's over, he's gone, destroyed by his own hands with a little guidance from mine. The wind seemed to answer, brushing against my cheek like her touch. I let out a breath. He begged Anna. He cried until his body shook. He wanted mercy, but I remembered you. I remembered the fire, the papers turning to ash. I remembered holding you as your breath faded. My hand traced the carved letters of her name. I didn't give him mercy. I gave him silence, and silence broke him. The earth felt warm beneath my palm. I used to think revenge would taste sweet, I admitted, but when I walked away, I realized it wasn't victory. It wasn't triumph. It was peace, a peace I thought I'd never find. The leaves rustled as though she was laughing softly at me. Don't tease me, I murmured. I know you would have forgiven him. You would have told me to let go long ago. I closed my eyes, but I couldn't be you. Your kindness was your strength. My fury was mine. I carried it for both of us. The flowers at her grave bent slightly in the breeze. He can't hurt you anymore, I whispered. He can't touch your memory, can't spit on your dreams. Everything he built has crumbled, and the world finally sees him for what he is. A tear slid down my cheek, but this time, it didn't sting. I thought I would feel empty when it was over. I said quietly, but instead, I feel full, not with hate, not with rage, just with you. The wind carried my words, scattering them among the trees. I smiled faintly, touching the diary one last time. Rest now, Anna. Rest knowing I kept my promise. Rest, knowing you're safe, even in death. I rose slowly, brushing dirt from my knees. My voice was soft, but it carried. For the first time since the fire, I can breathe. The lilies swayed, their petals lifting in the breeze, and I imagined her smiling at me bright, unbroken, free. And for the first time since I lost her, I smiled back. It wasn't victory. It wasn't revenge. It was closure, and that was enough.